They're talking about Shane Gillis making Caitlin Clark Waffle House jokes. Let's be funny again. Let's not be overly self-serious.
What did you expect? I couldn't find the humor in it.
That is the worst room in comedy. Hilarious start to finish. I was impressed with it, Hutton.
There's one person in particular that took offense to it. The content crushed. The ESPYs are talking about the WNBA.
This was the best performance by an ESPYs host. That's not what people are talking about today.
Shane Gillis crushed at the ESPYs. I don't know how anyone watches that. Maybe you think, oh, his delivery's a little dry. But
that's who he is.
But
that's his delivery.
The content crushed. And that's why you bring him to host the ESPYs.
Yeah.
Is exactly why you ask him to do it. What did you expect?
Yeah.
But Sarah Spain didn't like it. She didn't like the humor. Couldn't find the humor in it.
And I think we've seen so many little steps away from woke sports coverage over the last 2 years. Like, it's been this steady system of let's be funny again. Let's not be overly self-serious. It's not cool to be woke. It's not cool to be overly serious about oneself. We've seen all these little steps along the way. And I think Shane Gillis, I don't think it's the death of it or anything, but Shane Gillis last night is another one of those steps that Disney would employ him to go roast people at the ESPYs, knowing that is an overly self-serious room. I've said this forever. That is the worst room in comedy, is the ESPY Awards.
I agree.
Athletes are not, they have no sense of humor about themselves, most of them. They're way too self-serious. They get easily offended all the time. If you want to go in there and be Norm Macdonald from 1998 or be Shane Gillis in 2025, you're not going to get laughs. You're going to get crickets, and you're going to get people that are pissed off and offended the whole time. That's why I love the comedy and the brand of Shane Gillis even more last night, because he didn't care. He was there to entertain the rest of us that were watching. He was there to entertain the internet that was watching the clips of the jokes. That's the only way you make a joke about Caitlin Clark ending up working at Waffle House because she loves to fist fight black women. Hilarious start to finish. I was impressed with it, Hutton, and I think it's another positive sign that the woke sports media culture is about to be no more.
Well, all of a sudden, I took the reaction from Sarah Spain, and again, here's more reaction from the it's the minority of the response here. That is, there's more people laughing at the response today than any host that would have been crushing LeBron, for instance.
Yeah.
In a year for crazy growth in women's sports, choosing an ESPYs host who doesn't even try to make clever jokes about women athletes. He at least attempted for the men. He goes with hacky. No one knows the WNBA bits. No one does, by the way.
Yeah, that's why it's funny.
That's why it's funny. And it in all caps, cool. I mean, it's people. I was going to say women. It's men and women like Sarah Spain who should embrace what we have seen with the WNBA and the growth of women's sport. The ESPYs are talking about the WNBA. It's funny because they're relevant. The league is relevant. And they don't want to be a professional league because the player who's making them relevant, I mean, all of a sudden, Sarah Spain's defending her because she's being made fun of. She's specifically mentioning that joke. I mean, what? I mean, she should be laughing at Sarah. Sarah should be laughing at that joke with how they despise Caitlin Clark, right?
Yeah. And I don't know that she's specifically talking about Caitlin Clark. She does specifically mention Pino.
Well,
Megan Rapinoe, which apparently she calls very lovingly Pino, that she makes fun. Hutton, the best thing to do here is to go to the tape. We can have some of these jokes and play them, and we can all decide for ourselves whether or not they're funny.
Yeah, let's hear Shane Gillis.
Also, can we stop pretending Donald Trump knows ball? It's like a weird thing where they're like, man, he loves sport. He doesn't know anything about sports. Every time a team comes and visits the White House, he's like, and you must be the
Sarah loved that joke.
Guy who catches.
This is great. She's not going to like this one.
Look at these guys, big guys, black guys. And that's just when the New York Liberty visited.
Boom.
They didn't visit. That's just a joke.
The best is a follow-up of they didn't visit.
By the way.
That's just a joke.
But if you hear that, you're like, oh, maybe they won.
It was great.
Maybe they won.
You know, though, when he started doing his Donald Trump impression, Sarah Spain moved to the edge of her seat and was like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
This is the stuff for the rest of us.
Crush this guy.
Let's go ahead and destroy Donald Trump. And Shane Gillis is good about making fun of Donald Trump, too. He doesn't do it in the same way that a lot of comedians will do it, where it comes from a place of anger
Right.
or that he hates somebody. But he's making fun of the fact that people act like Donald Trump knows sports. And if you listen to him talk around sports people, he really doesn't know that much about sports. That's funny. And then dropping the New York Liberty line. Hutton, that was my favorite joke of the night. Maybe my second favorite joke upon rewatch is this one about Pino, as Sarah Spain calls her.
Megan Rapinoe could not make it tonight. Nice.
Nice.
No, we're going to pretend she's a good time. All right.
Nice.
Well, see, everyone laughed at that.
Nice is the follow-up.
You can't mention her name. You can't, she's got to be here, but is she a good time? No. That's why it's funny.
Well, what's funny is he gets such a bad reaction at times.
Yeah.
Then the follow-up is, oh, let's not act like she's a good time.
Right, and then he gets the laugh. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everyone's laughing at that, except for Sarah Spain.
Well, and Megan Rapinoe.
Well,
who, when she sees it, she's going
to. But you're right.
Probably crafting some clever response as we speak.
Well, that's not exclusive to women's athletes. Women athletes. I'm saying that's the. You're right. That's the room. They can't be made fun of. They're holier than thou. Welcome to the show is what I say to that.
Yeah.
You get there, you get crushed. Belichick gets crushed. Brady gets crushed.
Well, Belichick was the one guy that everybody laughed at. I felt like that was the one that was appropriate for everybody in the audience to die laughing at his Belichick with Jordan Hudson jokes, which were funny. And I laughed at them too, but those are the only ones that the crowd truly embraced the whole time. Hutton, I thought this was the best performance by an ESPYs host since Norm Macdonald. So it's only fitting that Shane Gillis paid tribute to Norm Macdonald by delivering one of his best jokes.
There's one thing I want to say before I get out of here, and this is a dumb joke. You guys aren't going to like it, but it was, it's just a Norm Macdonald joke that I loved when he hosted the ESPYs, and I'm going to do it now. Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy this year. He's the first defensive player since Charles Woodson to win the Heisman. Congratulations, Travis Hunter, winning the Heisman. That's something they can never take away from you, unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case they can take that away from you. Well, see, a lot of you don't like me, and that's okay.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
Amazing joke. He also had a great Shedeur Sanders joke, Hutton, where he said, they're retiring Shedeur Sanders' number at Colorado, and everyone's arguing it's because of nepotism. But it's really not because of nepotism. It's because he went 13-12 in his career and almost won the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Again, funny.
I've heard that. Did I watch the ESPYs? No, hell no. No one did. We saw the jokes on social media.
Yeah.
That's what went viral.
A lot of people watched it
Who won Athlete of the Year? I have no idea.
Instagram
I have
or
no
X.
clue who won Athlete of the Year. I don't care.
Yeah, I didn't get that far.
Who won the what do they call it? The Arthur Ashe Courage Award?
Yeah, they have like a Jimmy V award. They have a Jimmy V Perseverance Award. They have a Muhammad Ali Service Award. I got through about an hour and 15 minutes of it, and I saw those two awards.
Of the Year Award.
Yeah. And look, I think they do a good job mostly with that, erasing the Caitlyn Jenner part of it from years ago. Like most of those feel-good human interest stories that they're very well produced, narrated, they do a good job with that.
And that's the point. Like
what people are talking about today are those jokes by Shane Gillis.
Yes, because they're funny.
The Penn State volleyball coach is a great story of overcoming cancer and winning a national title. That's not what people are talking about today. They're talking about Shane Gillis making Caitlin Clark Waffle House jokes.
Chad, why is, I'm sure, Sarah doesn't like, when we know this, it doesn't like Christine Brennan coming on our show. That's coverage like a professional league.
Yeah.
We're not discussing college baseball at the ESPYs. They're not getting made fun of. Mm-mm. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Again, they don't want to be treated. I say that league does not want to be treated as a professional league.
No.
They want to be treated as a charity. They want to win the Courage Award. They don't want to be a part of the monologue. And I don't understand that because that's what they were complaining about. And Caitlin Clark has allowed them to climb that ladder of relevance. Welcome. Congratulations. But they want to be treated as holier than thou. And be treated as a professional.
Yes.
I mean, that's exactly.
Well, he made a New York Liberty joke.
The players aren't going to laugh. Neither do the men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
but we're not complaining about LeBron jokes.
There were at least three WNBA jokes in the opening monologue, which even if you don't like the jokes because it's making fun of the fact that most people can't name other WNBA players other than Caitlin Clark,
right?
It's still good for the league, right? He makes the reference to his friend's wife, who's a 7-time WNBA All-Star, but is actually just his friend's wife. That's a joke. The New York Liberty joke, and then the Caitlin Clark references.
So if they don't like those jokes that no one can name the other players in the league, whose problem is that? Whose fault is that? Capitalize on what you have and climb the ladder. Raise the bar. Don't focus on what a slight to the women that are playing in the league now. Focus on taking advantage of the eyeballs that are on the product instead of discussing who hates who and whether or not players are jealous of Caitlin Clark's fame. Rise to the occasion is what I say. It's not Caitlin Clark's fault that no one is at her level. And you have those who don't want to acknowledge Caitlin Clark for something that is great for women's sports. If they had made a joke about Lia Thomas, I'm sure Sarah Spain would be offended, but they can make fun of Riley Gaines, and it's totally fine.
Well, speaking of Riley Gaines, I will say the one area that I wish Shane Gillis would have gone harder, which is funny to say because he went hard in every area, was Simone Biles. Now, I don't know if that's a calculated thing, or are they thinking like, oh, does all of America know that she got into it with Riley Gaines if I make that joke about trans athletes? But he made leprechaun jokes about Simone Biles being short, which is fine. It wasn't terrible or anything, but I thought he took it easy on Simone Biles, who, by the way, won the award for Best Championship Performance and got up on stage and immediately said, well, I'm really surprised I won this award because I was competing against 4 men. That I'm even more shocked because the other finalists are 4 men, and I'm the only woman in the award. And she won for her performance at the 2024 Paris Olympics, which, they didn't have that ready for last year's ESPY award because it was still going on.
So we could discuss the relevance of the ESPYs. We only discuss it really based on the reaction of those that are coming from at ESPN that don't like it, right? Or it has to be some grand stage for things that are not championing women.
Yeah. Well, here's what Shane Gillis did for me, just real quick, to summarize that. I've always thought that the ESPYs are just better as just a television production. Get your montages in there. Don't even have people there live. It's better as just a TV show. Yeah, just have all of your human interest stories and your feel-good moments and get the music going and the highlight packages and everything else. The show is better when it leans in that direction. Shane Gillis last night made me think, oh, this is still good for a stand-up comic to come in and roast people.
When's the last time?
If done the right way, and it was done the right way last night.
Last time we talked about the SAG Awards.
Never.
No, because of the host. Who's the comedian?
Oh, Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais.
Golden Globes.
Golden Globes, thank you.
Yeah.
When was the last time we talked about the Golden Globes? It was then.
Yeah.
And the response he had, it was an awkward response. That's what this was. If you're in the audience and you're relevant, you're on the table to be a part of the script.
Well, it's funny how nervous everyone was. I feel like with Shane Gillis up there, if they know his comedy, everyone walks in a little bit nervous.
Well,
I like that. Comedy should be dangerous.
Why was the Tom Brady roast must watch?
Because it was dangerous, and they went after
live
everything.
And dangerous.
Yes.
And there were people in the audience that don't like being made fun of, that were untouchable, that were allowing themselves to be wide open to
be
that.
Ripped.
To be ridiculed and things pointed out. Now, except for Robert Kraft.
Right.
But even he was mentioned. But
then Brady got really offended.
You mentioned the fact that you can mention a random name and no one knows that it's a fake name in the audience. I thought that made me laugh harder than anything.
Yeah.
Is that all? It doesn't really play for the WNBA.
Yeah. I told you nobody knows. He also said Deanna Taurasi on purpose, and she was pissed. I don't know if she was in on the bit or not when he did it because her reaction was so immediate when he said Deanna Taurasi that she looked so angry. I'm thinking maybe she was in on it a little bit, and then it goes to someone else, and then it goes to the fake WNBA player. And the payback is to what he started with saying her name wrong was, see, I told you, none of you know actual WNBA players.
I want, out of fairness, Chad, out of fairness, I want the WNBA Players Association to release a statement
banning Shane Gillis?
Banning ESPN for allowing Shane Gillis on stage because they wanted to ban Christine Brennan for covering them like a professional league.
Yeah, they can't do that because they pay their salaries. ESPN does with the television contract.
Caitlin Clark pays their salaries.
Yeah.
I want their $75,000 salary, which that's
it's fair market.
That's Caitlin's value right now according to her contract, not according to what she means to the league. Point being, the 5-page, whatever it was, statement that was released by the league on Christy Brennan. I want that statement. Like, just put ESPN in where they mention Brennan and say they want Disney to release a statement about ESPN, allowing Shane Gillis on stage.
I just want any statement.
In this, Shane Gillis is the question, not the reporter. It's the question mentioned, and then you have the reporter being ESPN.
I love good comedy, so I'm looking forward to any response from the WNBA at all because it's going to be comedic. Whatever they come back with, whatever official statement they have from the Players Association about Shane Gillis is going to be hilarious. Unintentionally hilarious, but hilarious nonetheless, so I'm hoping they put something out there.
Recent hosts, and I can't really name many hosts of the ESPYs other than like Peyton Manning when he hosted.
Peyton Manning was good. The rest of this list, there's not much memorable about them.
Now, I understand some of the names on here, why you have them on stage doing this. Like Drake is obvious. That fits. It's a crossover between superstar and superstars, right? That's the vibe they want. And some of these are just like, you knew it was going to be bad. Serena Williams can be funny, but again, like there's a reason why they have her hosting. Shane Gillis, there's a reason why they had him hosting too, but not for the same reason. So no host in 2023. Steph Curry, you have, Russell Wilson, Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird with Russell Wilson. Danica Patrick, Peyton Manning, John Cena. So Rob Riggle, Seth Meyers. Again, those make sense. Jimmy Kimmel. But
I forgot that most of these people ever hosted.
That's my point. Like you had
honestly
legit
the only ones I can remember hosting. I remember when LeBron did it. I remember Justin Timberlake. I remember Peyton Manning.
Yes. I
remember
I had no
Serena
idea.
Williams from a year ago.
Did you know Norm Macdonald hosted? I had no idea.
Like, here's a great example. Matthew Perry hosted in 05. No clue. Complete blank spot in my memory. And I was watching the ESPYs in 05. And I have no recollection of Matthew Perry being the host. I remember Samuel L. Jackson for a couple straight years doing it. Jimmy Smits?
No idea.
No clue.
The ESPYs, when I think of the ESPYs, I think of Jimmy V.
Yeah.
Right? And when I think of the ESPYs, I'm like, okay, this is funny. Like, I want to watch it now. Did you know he was hosting?
Shane Gillis?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been promoting it a lot.
The only reason,
ESPN.
but when I see the only reason I knew the ESPYs were going on is I mentioned this to Clay the other night when we were at the All-Star game. I said, do you think that these guys, the players, leave immediately after the game, or do you think they leave the next morning, like back to wherever they are? And then I was like, well, they have the ESPYs tomorrow night, so a lot of them will be invited before they play again on Friday. And so I didn't know if they were all hitting planes.
Freddie Freeman was in the front row. I don't remember a lot of other baseball players there, honestly. I remember seeing Freddie Freeman because he was nominated for the first award, and he was front and center with his wife right there in the front row the whole time, and he just came from Atlanta from the All-Star game.
Well, there's another reason why they don't show many baseball players, but again, like because they're not prominent. They don't want the spotlight. You know, Aaron Judge isn't in the swing off, the home run derby at the end of the All-Star game. Chad, I just say that because I was like, well, that's the only reason I knew the ESPYs were going on. I didn't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
15 years ago, I was watching it live.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's part social media and reaction.
I think everybody's television viewing habits have changed dramatically over the last 15 years.
Yeah, but
where most people are now getting their info off their phone. And they're not just sitting down behind because you're streaming something you want to watch.
Yes,
the whole live television at night angle has gone down. And when ESPN started this, I'm looking at 1998 with Norm Macdonald. Hutton, when they started it, it was a smart thing to do for a sports network on a night where there's no sports. So they said, okay, let's give people that have that dire sports appetite, let's give them some sports on a night with no sports. Great. The Wednesday after the All-Star game is the perfect night to do it. It was good in theory. But everything has evolved so much since then.
Well, the other thing is like I wanted to watch my favorite athletes cross over and be in the same room together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really that doesn't factor into anything anymore. You know, everything's an individual brand, and I guess it was in some respect when it started. We had the McGuire-Sosa thing going on. You know. At the All-Star break.
Yeah, I don't know. And
they were in the Derby.
Yeah, and it goes back before that because the Jimmy V night was the first one. And that was like 94, 92, 93.
Well, I'm saying we mentioned Norm Macdonald. We went to 98 on the host list. I'm just simply stating, like, now it's just clips of whenever it's funny.
93 in New York City. And the host that year, now this is a guy that I'm sure was great. Dennis Miller was the host in '93 in the first ever ESPYs. Now that's a host.
Yeah. Do you think
It's like Shane Gillis? It's a great
host. Do you think
host.
Charles Barkley cared if he was made fun of?
No.
I don't either.
No.
He laughed, I'm sure.
The first host of the ESPYs, you ready, Hutton?
Yeah.
Dennis Miller in '93, John Goodman in '94,
Okay.
Tony Danza in '95,
Wow.
Jeff Foxworthy, and then Norm Macdonald.
Jeff Foxworthy, man, if we were talking about like crushing it in that small window of time. You might be a redneck.
Imagine you might be a redneck jokes back in
Rednecks
the 90s.
laughing
We've
at
kind
that,
of
by
come
the way.
full circle now with Shane Gillis hosting.
You might be a Sarah if.
Might be a Sarah Spain.
Yeah, if you were offended by jokes about the WNBA being relevant, by the way. That tells you they're relevant. Attempted by, I like he at least attempted for the men. There's an attempt every year.
Hacky, no one knows the WNBA bits.
The only way.
Oh, those true bits? You don't like those? Those bits of truth?
The only criticism that I think you can have is his delivery. It's not for everybody, the delivery, the dry delivery. Because it comes across as awkward, intentionally. But that's it.
Well, he reacts to the reaction.
Yeah,
he's always done that where I knew you guys wouldn't like me. Oh, you like that one?
See, here's Colin. Colin chimes in from across the room and says, and by the way, I'm offended that he's making fun of the Major League Soccer here. He says, full slate of MLS games last night, so we had sports to watch.
There you go.
Now, he's being serious. I take that as tongue-in-cheek.
Colin is the Sarah Spain of this show, is what we're hearing.
Yep.
You know what there were no jokes about last night from Shane Gillis? MLS. Oh. So there you go, WNBA. There's relevance for you. You were joked about. You were made fun of. There wasn't a single MLS joke last night from Shane Gillis.
Yep. They want to be treated as a charity.
You know why? Because they have too many damn trophies. That's why. There's too many damn championships you can win in MLS.
You know who wants to win a championship? Diego Pavia.
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt is talking national title. Diego Pavia joined us at SEC Media Days. That's next here on Hot Mic.